Welcome back to the channel. Today is a great day. It turned out to be a little bit crazy. A lot of crazy things happened in the Bitcoin market. You guys will be very interested to hear my take on it, I think. Before we get started, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and check out my Twitch and Twitter links in the description. You can join me on those platforms too. We do a lot of good content on both of them. All right, let's get into this. What we're looking at today is some craziness that happened. Okay, let's start off by going to Twitter, all right? And we're gonna look at Elon Musk's Twitter, because this is really what kicked off this entire dump. So this post by Elon was out today, all right? Let's take a look at it. So Elon says, hang on, let's get on to the full screen mode. So Elon says, Tesla has suspended vehicle purchases using Bitcoin. We are concerned about rapidly increasing use of fossil fuels for Bitcoin mining and transactions, especially coal, which has the worst emissions of any fuel. They're not wrong about that. There are rapidly increasing fossil fuels for Bitcoin mining. It's happening primarily in China, and they are using coal, which has tremendously bad implications on the environment. So totally true. I agree with that. It says, cryptocurrency is a good idea on many levels, and we believe it has a promising future, but this cannot come at a great cost to the environment. Tesla will not be selling any Bitcoin, and this is important, read this. Tesla will not be selling any Bitcoin, and we intend to use it for transactions as mining transitions to more sustainable energy. We are also looking to other cryptocurrencies that use 1% of Bitcoin's energy/transaction. Now, the first thing I'll say is something that's probably on a lot of people's minds. What cryptocurrency do you think Tesla will start using? Well, I don't know what they'll start using. They've been pushing Dodge so much that I wouldn't be surprised if, they continue to accept that for payments for their cars and stuff. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't really matter. I mean, my suggestion would be to use Elrond, because Elrond has a much higher transaction throughput, and it also has a much lower energy footprint than anything else. So I think that for the energy uses versus benefit of infrastructure, Elrond is a very, very good solution to what he's talking about. So, I mean, will they use Elrond EGLD? I don't know, but if I was the Elrond team right now, I would be reaching out to Elon Musk and to Tesla and starting to make the pitch. And you know what I suggest? If you follow Elrond, if you watch a lot of these videos because you like EGLD, send a tweet to Elon Musk, reply to this tweet, and let him know about EGLD. Why not? Take over that entire tweet. Leave a lot of messages for him. Let it at least get on his radar, because to be honest with you, the energy utilization is one very good thing about Elrond. It really is. And then on top of that, just the vast scalability of its throughput and infrastructure with adaptive sharding makes it a very, very good selling point to be used for a transactional type of token, right? Bitcoin, on the other hand, doesn't necessarily need to be used for a transactional sense or as a currency. It needs to be a store of value. It's digital gold. It's not digital fiat, or it's not like digital. It's not a digital coin that's really meant to be used for small transactions. That'll all change as layer 2 and layer 3 solutions come out, like the Lightning Network and other things like that, that enable you to use Bitcoin with much better transaction fees and transaction speeds. But at the end of the day, that's not going to affect the network in a sense. Jazzy, what are you doing? Sorry, that's my cat. Okay, so after this tweet came out, Bitcoin took a dive. All right, so Bitcoin was probably sitting at around 56, 57, somewhere around there, maybe even 58. Like over the last, actually Bitcoin was probably sitting at around 55 or 56 at that point. Jazzy, stop it. Come on, stop. My cat is like kicking things around. Okay, so Bitcoin took a pretty big dive from there. So let's just do a percentage move. Let's just say earlier today, we were sitting at around this level here, and we dropped down about 17 to 20%, and then we came back. Hang on just a second. I had to take care of this cat. Jazzy. Sorry, cat was driving me nuts. Okay, so we saw Bitcoin take about a 17 to 20% dive. And look what happened within the last, we'll do an hourly chart so we can kind of see this at a shorter time frame. Okay, first of all, two things happen. If you look at the 1 hour chart, you saw a massive red 9 flash. So that red 9 flash, as you know, if you've learned anything about the TD sequential from my channel, is a very bullish signal. That signals that it's been oversold significantly. And obviously after that 9 flash, we saw it go down a little bit more and the price has recovered to a certain degree, right? It's not fully recovered, but it's on its way. It's actually shown a lot of strength in this range. It actually went all the way back down to 46,000. And then from 46,000, it's gone up in the last hour, 14%. And now it's up about 9%. So it's in a mode right now where you have a lot of people selling and a lot of people are buying. Like the people who were buying waited. I had 2 buy points here. I bought here. I'll do a horizontal ray. So I bought at about 52.5. So like right around here as the drop began. And then I had another buy order just sitting and waiting at around this level here, at around 46.5. So like right here. So these are the 2 levels that I bought at, which I think are pretty great levels. Like for a dip like this, my higher purchase, which also in my opinion was low, 52.5 was a great buying point. So I bought at 52.5 and I bought at 46.5 and I pretty much got all the Bitcoin I needed to for the next 2 to 3 weeks. I dollar cost average, and for the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'm good. I don't need to buy any more Bitcoin now. If I have some disposable income and I want to buy more and the price stays a little low, then maybe I will. But I'm really happy with this. I can't believe I got these 2 prices. I did not think I would be able to buy underneath this resistance zone at the top. So I'm very, very happy about that. This is the one causing problems. Jazzy, what are you doing? Are you trying to be on the video? What do you think about Bitcoin? You don't like it? Well, you should. All right. Well, the take on this is quite simple. All right. This is what you call a fear sell-off. All right. First of all, you got to take into context what exactly happened. All right. Why would Tesla all of a sudden come out and say this? Well, in my opinion, it's one of 2 things. Number one, they likely saw that not enough people were buying Bitcoin or buying Teslas with Bitcoin. And it makes sense. I mean, I wouldn't buy a Tesla with my Bitcoin, right? The Tesla is not going to go up in value, but the Bitcoin is. So what's the point of using Bitcoin to buy a Tesla? I actually don't use Bitcoin to buy anything. You know, when I buy Bitcoin, I own Bitcoin. That it stays there. I don't sell the Bitcoin unless I need to take a profit for any reason, but I have yet to do that. And I started buying Bitcoin when it was $3,000-$4,000. So the fact of the matter is that that's one thing, that it's very plausible that not a lot of Tesla sales were due to Bitcoin. They are also keeping Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Now, why would they keep it on their balance sheet? Well, because it's a good investment. It's a store of value, and they've made a lot of money on it, and they likely will continue to do that. So Tesla keeping Bitcoin on the balance sheet makes a lot of sense. I have to assume that what happened here is that they saw a way to appease the people that believe this whole climate change narrative. So there is a huge climate change narrative about Bitcoin, that Bitcoin's terrible for the environment and all that stuff. Well, the first thing to understand is that Bitcoin uses maybe 1/5 of the energy that's used by gold mining. And then on top of that, gold mining results in a lot of toxic waste disposal. Just about a year ago, if I'm not mistaken, there was a gold mining outfit out of Papua New Guinea that wanted to dump like 23 tons of toxic waste or something. Let me see if I can find the article. Bitcoin versus gold environmental impact. Okay, so I remember this article here. Okay, so this was taken. This article came out in 2019. Okay, so a little while ago. And at that point in time, Bitcoin's global network power consumption is estimated at 22 terawatt hours per year. So that's probably increased to some degree now. Now, at the same time, gold mining operations expended 132 terawatt hours per year. I mean, you're talking about, let's see, let's do the math. All right, so that's what, 22 22 divided by 132. So Bitcoin in this scenario, 2019, was only using 16% of the energy usage of gold. Gold mining destroys the environment. You see here, you result with toxic waste. Large gold mining companies produce 20 tons of toxic waste to create a single gold ring. Even more frightening is the Papua New Guinea gold mining operation that is seeking approval to dump 13 million tons of toxic gold mining waste in the ocean for the next 28 years. Okay, gold mining is just awful. It is god awful. And then on top of that, landscape destruction. They destroy landscapes. They destroy wildlife habitats. And a lot of these habitats will never recover. There's acid mine drainage, mercury production. They destroy the Amazon, searching for new gold deposits. There's just all kinds of terrible things happening from gold. Now, what is Bitcoin doing? First of all, you understand that gold has two main uses, all right? One is industrial, one is technological, okay? One is industrial and one is a store of value. Industrial, that encompasses like jewelry and electronics, basically any technological uses. And then store of value is essentially just investors and central banks that are buying gold and holding it. They just store it. They put it in warehouses. They put it in safety deposit boxes, wherever they need to keep it secure. And that's it. They just hold it. They don't use it for anything. They keep it there to store their value of money. 55% of gold is used for that use case as a store of value. As Bitcoin continues to grow and gold and money from that 55% of the gold market cap comes into Bitcoin, the demand for gold will reduce. As the demand for gold reduces, so does the land destruction, so does the toxic waste disposal, so does the energy usage. So in effect, with the fact that Bitcoin can scale transactions at a relatively low increase of energy cost, and it can be adapted to renewable energy, Bitcoin is only going to get more efficient and better over time, while at the same time reducing the environmental impact that something like gold has on the planet Earth. In reality, that is a huge net positive. So this entire argument doesn't make a lot of sense unless you want to appease the people that don't know anything about this. The large percentage of people in the market, all they hear, thanks Brass for following, I appreciate you. All they hear, the large percent of the market, they only hear one thing. They hear Bitcoin is bad because it uses a lot of energy. They know no context behind it, because if you see this stuff on the news, they don't give you any context. They don't tell you anything except for the fact that Bitcoin uses energy. Guess what? So do refrigerators, so do all the computers, so do all the manufacturing plants that make cell phones. You don't see anyone giving these things up, right? But something that can change not only the way we transact to something much better, but also disrupt a market that is currently creating massive destruction on the planet like gold mining, it's a wonderful thing. Bitcoin is only going to improve. That's the reason why you're not seeing Tesla saying they're going to sell their Bitcoin. If they really believed in this climate change narrative, then why is Tesla holding any Bitcoin? They should just get rid of their 1.5 billion, right? That makes sense to me. But obviously they're keeping it for a reason. They have found a happy medium. A, they hold their Bitcoin and keep making money on their investment. B, they stop accepting Bitcoin for Tesla cars. In effect, they're making two people happy. They're indirectly making the crypto community happy and making a good investment by keeping Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And then indirectly, they are appeasing the people that don't know the truth about Bitcoin's climate change narrative, and they're making them happy. So if people aren't buying Teslas with Bitcoin, obviously, what's the point of accepting Bitcoin for a Tesla if barely anyone's going to pay it? So it makes sense. I mean, I don't disagree with this. Now, what doesn't make sense is the drop that Bitcoin took, because what really happened is that it created a snowball effect. The snowball effect is basically a cascading effect of sales, and you see this happen a lot when some type of fear hits the market. So Bitcoin was already kind of trending down, right? It was trending down a little bit. It started trending down at around 10 a.m. this morning, which tells me that some people likely knew that this news release was coming, and they were probably starting to dump some of their Bitcoin, because there are certain people that know about these things before it happens and they take advantage of the market. So there are likely people that knew about this that started selling up here, and that took the price down to around the 55,000 level roughly. News gets released and the price craters from about 54,000 all the way to 46, and then it gets bought up immediately. If I had to be a speculator, and it's pure speculation, I would think a lot of the people that sold around here that did know about this probably bought around here. They probably sold here, took a profit by buying lower, and they ended up with more Bitcoin. The people that are really going to lose out on this are the people that sold all the way down this path from here to here. Whoever sold here is going to take a hit, because unfortunately for them, you know, Bitcoin's going to recover pretty quickly from this. And even if pretty quickly can mean for some people a day, for me, when I say Bitcoin's going to recover pretty quickly, I would say Bitcoin will be back up to the 57, 58,000 range probably within a week. You know, hopefully it takes longer. I mean, honestly, if Bitcoin can stay at anywhere between 50 and 55,000, if it can keep trading in this range for another 3 weeks, that would be wonderful, because then as I get my paychecks, I can buy more Bitcoin at a cheap price. So this is a really good thing in my opinion. I think the fact of the matter is you got to decide what kind of investor are you. Are you the type of investor that looks at one news article and thinks that this is going to totally crash an asset and it doesn't matter how good the asset is? All that matters is this news article? Well, if that's what you think, you got to make your decisions based on that, right? But I'm here to educate you that I don't believe that's the case. I think what happens is when news like this comes out, you have a large group of participants that get scared, they begin to sell, that creates a cascading effect, and a lot of people get scared and sell. Now, I'm also willing to bet that within the next few days, you're going to start seeing charts come out on Twitter. You'll follow people like Willy Woo, Will Clement's a guy that I follow. So if you just look at the people I follow on Twitter, you can find these guys. Follow them on Twitter and look at the charts they post. In a couple of days, I'm willing to bet they're going to post charts from Glassnode that show that the majority of the coins that were sold during this entire drop were coins that were held only for the last 1 to 3 months. So that means, if that is the case, and I suspect heavily that's going to be the case, that means that the majority of people that sold here have only been holding Bitcoin for like 1 to 3 months. So they're the ones who don't really understand the asset. My guess also is that the majority of the people that are buying these dips are likely going to be people that have been holding Bitcoin for 1+ years. People that have been holding Bitcoin for a longer period of time and understand where it's headed, they're going to be the ones that are accumulating when the dips come in. So the question is, who exactly are you and what do you believe in? So in my eyes, I see Bitcoin as being something that is in the initial stages of a revolution in not only the way that we store energy for money, but the way that we improve upon technology. Because Bitcoin's only going to benefit from renewable energy. It's going to benefit from increases in processing power and reduced energy cost of those chips. So as technology keeps improving, the Bitcoin network is going to keep improving. Fiat currencies, on the other hand, are going through the worst inflation they've seen in many, many years. CPI inflation in the United States was estimated to be at around 4.2% this past month, I think, which is just astronomically high. So as we start looking at these rises into inflation, the government continually printing money, unemployment is still being paid out at high figures, and people don't want to work, so the economy is still being affected. You can't, in my opinion, with good conscience, trust the central banks to fix everything, at least not immediately. It's going to take time, and I think we're going to see a lot more inflation happen. And as that happens, things like Bitcoin, real estate, and likely even gold are going to start appreciating in value. Though I really hope that gold keeps crashing and Bitcoin takes all that value, because that would be really good for the environment. Okay, that's pretty much what caused all this. So if you were worried about all this, I really hope that you readjust your strategy and consider whether you would want to be a seller here or a buyer here. Now, I'll tell you what I did. I already showed you I bought at 52.5. I also bought at around 46.5. I'm going to continue watching this, and if this keeps downtrending, then I'm going to have to pick some lower buy points. It's going to be tough because from where it is now, I don't really anticipate this going too much lower. I mean, if it does go lower, I don't really see it going below 40K. I think even 40K would be astonishing if it reaches that level. Now, the thing to know is that 40K may not seem like a big deal from where it is now, but we're talking about another 20% move if that happens. And from the top, from where it was, we're talking about roughly a 30% move. So maybe it's not out of the question. I mean, a 30% move in Bitcoin, it's very, very common. Those things happen during bull runs. We've seen it in the prior 2 bull runs. So it could happen. I think it's unlikely for a couple of reasons, though. I think that we may have already seen the bottom at 45. The reason I say that is because it did get bought up very quickly. And on top of that, it hit the exact level. I mean, if you've been watching these videos, you've seen my charts for some time. Look at where it turned around. It turned around right at the bottom of our support channel. That's why because I've had this support channel for so long, that's why I had an order sitting at 46,500, right? I don't put my orders right at the bottom. I mean, if I put it at 46,000, it would have still triggered, but I always put it a little bit higher. So I put it at 46,500 because if it did come down, I didn't want to miss out. So I'm glad that I was able to pick some up there. I think it's going to turn out to be a very profitable purchase probably in the next few weeks as the price comes back up to like 55, 56,000. We're talking about a very quick, 20% gain. So it would have been stupid of me not to buy at that price. So I'm glad I had the order in. It was ready to go. I did not think it would trigger, but I'm glad it triggered. That's pretty much it for Bitcoin. That's what's happening. I mean, we just got to keep watching it and see where it falls. But right now, smart money is getting in and weak money is going out. That's what's happening. So these are times where for a lot of new people in the market, you feel a lot of fear. You feel very scared. And the only way to combat that fear is to understand what you're investing in. I understand what I'm investing in. That's why I started buying it at 3,000 and I never stopped. The majority of my Bitcoin was purchased at very good prices. And because of that, I have continuously learned. And the more I learned, the more I realized that this is not something where one news article is going to crash it. It's going to cause fear. Fear causes dips. Fear has cascading effects. And then what happens? You start to lose that fear. People who don't have the fear take advantage of the situation and buy the asset because they see the future potential. I would guess that MicroStrategy probably bought here. I would guess that Grayscale probably bought here. I would also think it's absolutely hilarious if Tesla bought here. If Tesla bought this dip, that will be the funniest thing ever. It'll be absolutely hilarious. And I don't even know if the SEC or any regulatory body could do anything about it because the fact of the matter is, they put out news and it doesn't really matter how the market reacts. If they want to buy, they can buy. So if I was Tesla, I would have been waiting to buy this dip. So I wonder if they did it. If we find out that they have bought more Bitcoin at their next shareholder meeting or something and they averaged at like 50K, it's going to be the funniest thing ever. I'm going to laugh. But anyways, people, that's pretty much it about Bitcoin. We'll take a very quick look at Ethereum, ADA, and EGLD. Ethereum did not really get phased much by this dip. If anything, the drop that Ethereum saw today was very, very healthy for Ethereum. Ethereum really, really needed a drop like this. It was getting insanely overextended. If you go to the daily chart, you will see here on the daily that there was a TD sequential sell signal, a 9 flash, that occurred. It was a green 9 flash. It occurred on May the 4th. And since that time, Ethereum has continued to go up and get massively overextended. Now what's happened is that because of these drops we have seen yesterday and today, basically what has happened now is that Ethereum has reset the TD sequential and has plenty of room to move up. And if you look at this daily chart for Ethereum, the drop so far did not even come back to the 20 exponential moving average on the daily. Incredibly bullish for Ethereum. I still honestly believe that Ethereum could break $8,000 to $10,000 during this bull run. But I'll be honest with you, at a certain point, I'm going to be a seller of Ethereum. I'm going to be a person who's ready to take profits, and likely those profits are going to go into, the majority of those profits will go into Bitcoin and probably EGLD, depending on what price it is at that time. But at a certain point, I'm going to take profits from Ethereum. I just don't know when, because I think that during the bear market, it's a good chance that Ethereum will take a massive drop in value, kind of like Bitcoin did when it first reached 20K, right? When it first had that massive valuation increase. That's kind of what we're seeing with Ethereum now. So with Ethereum, I'm going to be a little bit more careful. But right now, I'm not selling it. I think it has more room to move, so I'm holding on to it. Do your own research, do your own homework, come up with your own decision. But that's kind of my take on Ethereum right now. Okay, I'm going to save my Bitcoin chart. We'll come back and take a look at Bitcoin before we wrap up the video for today. Let's move on to EGLD. All right, so EGLD also, with this craziness that's been going on with Bitcoin, EGLD has held pretty steady. I mean, honestly, the chart is looking wonderful. Not only did it come down and touch the golden pocket, it is now above the golden pocket. And remember what I told you, as an asset gets more and more bullish, when it comes and touches the golden pocket area, which in this case is this area here, and it bounces off of that, that's a good indication that the next big leg up is about to begin. So we could very well see that this might be the turning point for EGLD. EGLD has consolidated a lot. It's had massive increases and really good drops. It went up one time really high. People took profits. It consolidated, stayed in an uptrend, went up really high again. People took profits, consolidated, stayed here, and set in a new trading high. So here the trading high was roughly between 135 and 165. Here the trading high is between like 170 and 200. So these are really good areas that it's been trading in. And I think the next big move up is surely going to catapult EGLD past the 250 level. I think we're probably going to do what we did the last two times. We have this green trend line up at the top. We touched it once. We touched it again, and I think we're going to touch it again. And when we touch it again, it's going to be close to the 280 to 300 level, and I think the price is going to do pretty well from there. Now, keep in mind, even if it does touch that area and hits like 280, that's not saying it doesn't come back down to 230 and consolidate again. If EGLD keeps moving like that, that's wonderful. That means not only are we getting new highs, but we're also getting chances to buy. So you just got to time your purchases if you're doing what I'm doing, which is dollar cost averaging. And you know, you got a great opportunity today. I mean, a lot of people were able to pick up some EGLD today at 157 to 165. I think that's wonderful. You know, EGLD is doing really, really well. I'm very impressed with the performance of the asset. I'm looking forward to the Maiar exchange going live, claiming my MEX tokens. You know, seeing how staking gets influenced once the exchange goes live. I know Binance is doing like some kind of trading event with EGLD. So there's a lot of things going on. And I think that it's going to do very well. I think long term, there's a heck of a lot of potential here. And I'm ready to be there and watch it the entire time. You know, it's going to be fun. All right, let's move on to ADA and wrap it up for today. All right, so Cardano, very similar to Ethereum. What we saw here with Cardano is that we saw a much needed drop. We're seeing consolidation in this channel, and that's pretty much what we want. Right now, Cardano was trapped in this range for a very long period of time, from around 120 to 140 in this channel. It was just trading sideways from March through May. All right, now what's happened is, now, I want you to take a look at this line, all right? Follow this yellow dashed line. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it better. Let's actually move to the daily. All right, so on the daily, you'll be able to see it really well. We'll zoom in on the daily chart. Okay, so you see the dashed yellow line here. This dashed yellow line has marked our tops. We hit a top here, we hit a top here, we hit a top here. Now, one thing I've taught you on this channel is when you have a line of resistance, what's really important for the next leg up is to flip that resistance into support. Now, what we are seeing is that the price has reached a new high on the top of this fib, and it's come down and it is getting support at that yellow line. That's very key to see. It's also getting support on the 20 exponential moving average on the daily, looking extremely bullish. This is a wonderful drop. It was necessary. And what we really want to see at this point is the price either consolidate in this range and then move up, but we kind of want to see it above this yellow dashed line. If it stays above that yellow dashed line or even trades against it, we know it's getting support there. And if it is getting support there, usually that's a great indication that it's going to flip that line of support and start moving up further. So Cardano's looking good. EGLD's looking good. Ethereum's looking good. Bitcoin's looking good. I don't know what people are worried about. I'll be honest with you. So you can't buy a Tesla by sending Bitcoin. Who cares? You know how you can use your Bitcoin to buy a Tesla? You can sell the Bitcoin and then buy the Tesla. It changes absolutely nothing. So keep it in mind. This is one of those things where you just want to understand the market. There are not a lot of opportunities you get to take advantage of the market. So it's really important to stay clear here. All right. A little meditation every day goes a long way. All right. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this set you into some concerns. Now, I don't want to give you a false sense that this is the end of it. So remember, I said that a drop down to 40K is a possibility. If that happens, I'll be buying there. The thing to do is just to see where do you think this is going to be 3 months from now. Buy accordingly to that. That's the smart way to do it. Remember, not financial advice. I could be wrong. Technical analysis is only a tool. It's not like nobody's a psychic. No one knows exactly what's going to happen. It's a tool. You use the tool and help it to make decisions. I'm using the tool and trying to gain some insight to help me make my choices. The only purpose of the video is to give you some tools to help you make choices. So think about it, read about it, learn about it, make an educated decision, and then stick with it. Be happy with your choice and let the chips fall where they may. All right? I wish you luck. Please, please, please don't take anything I say as financial advice. Take it as a learning tool. All right? Enjoy the day. I'll see you guys again. Leave me comments, leave me questions, whatever. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on Twitch next time so you can watch this live if you'd like. And I'll see you soon. I think that's about it. All right. Take it easy. Peace.